Hello, everyone. This is Esse Baharmast, Director of Referees for Colorado Soccer. And what we want to bring to you is to introduce referees in Colorado to the soccer community. And they say imitation is the best form of flattery. So I have to recognize Freitag here, our Director of Coaching. So Mike Freitag started this with coaches, and I thought, what a great idea. So we talked with Saeed Mousavian, our Chief Operating Officer, and Nate Schatz, our CEO, and they said it's a wonderful thing to do. So here we are. And by the way, all of those guys that we named, from Mike Freitag, Saeed Mousavian, Nate Schatz, not only they're coaches, they're also certified referees. And then I'm going to send this to Javi Ariano, our Director of Communication. And you know what? Javi is also a referee. So this is fantastic because coaches, players, referees come together. And today it gives me a wonderful, great honor and pleasure to introduce our very own FIFA referee from Colorado, Karen Abt, who is with us. Karen, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Essie. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you holding up in this coronavirus environment?
I'm doing all right. I think it was really important just to kind of establish a new routine really quickly. And, the first week or so was probably challenging to sort out. But once you get into your groove, you just kind of carry on.
Awesome. So we are here to learn as much as we can about you. So tell us a little bit about the introduction. Where were you born? Where you grew up, how you got into the game of soccer. I assume, nobody comes up and says, I want to become a referee. So must have been important, right?
Exactly. I was born and raised in Fort Collins, Colorado. So I grew up playing there. I started playing in kind of the little tyke league. I think I was age 4, when your shin guards go up to your kneecaps and your shorts go past your knees. But I started playing when I was quite young. So.
Wow. What position you played?
I liked to be a forward so that I could score.
Awesome. And how long did you continue playing until what age? And how did that change? What was the nexus of saying, you know what, I think I'm going to try refereeing also?
Well, I started refereeing, I got certified when I was 12, but I continued playing through college. And by the time that I started getting more serious into refereeing, I think I put the playing a little more in the backseat because I didn't want to have injuries. So it's a little bit sad, but I love being on the field as an official just as much as I love to play. And I really just love the game as a whole. So any opportunity I have to participate and be with the soccer family, I am thrilled to be there.
And where did you go to college? In Colorado?
I went to Colorado State. I have both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from Colorado State.
In what was your major?
My major for undergraduate was political science, and then my graduate degree is in public policy and administration.
Wow. And are you putting those into use these days or no?
I actually work in academia, so I do still use my education regularly.
So when you say academia, most people don't know where you work. So I know you're not too far away from where I live.
Indeed, pretty much down the street. I work at Colorado School of Mines in Golden.
That's an awesome school, huh?
It is a great school. And it's been a little bit of a challenging spring, just like for everyone, as we've transitioned the university to online. But the students and the faculty, everyone's been great. So it's been a positive experience.
Awesome. So playing, you decided, you know what, I'm going to become a referee, 12 years old. And tell us about the journey. I mean, how do you go from a 12-year-old startup referee to a FIFA referee? And you can tell us, for most people who don't know, what it means to be a FIFA referee. How many FIFA referees do we have in this country? How many women FIFA referees do we have? We have over 100,000 referees registered. So you let us know.
Okay, so I started when I was 7, and I actually started because my sister was a referee. So I wanted to be just like her. But a lot of the issues that we deal with today with referee abuse were prevalent 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago when I started. So I actually officiated for a couple of years. And then in my middle teenage years, I took a step back because it was just really challenging to deal with it. And you're kind of struggling at that time in your life as well. So but when I got into college, I realized I was a little hungry and I could, afford some protein and fresh produce if I started officiating. So I started officiating again in college. And at that time, I enjoyed doing it. I got to see friends and made friends in the soccer world. And so I got to go to Denver then to referee at State Cup and events like that. And then I think the big event that really motivated me to kind of progress as an official was youth regionals. Initially, they didn't have development academy and things of that nature. So youth regionals was the big event to go to. And when I went there, I saw these officials that were being selected to go to youth nationals. And so that was the time that I realized that I really wanted to, work really hard and get better. And I wanted to go to youth nationals. And it actually took me quite a number of years to get there. But I did finally make it. And I was really proud of myself for, sticking with it and reaching that goal. And truthfully, I don't think I ever really thought to myself, I want to be a FIFA referee, but I wanted to be the best I could be. And each time I made it to one grade, I would look at the officials who were in the grade above me, and I was like, I can do this, but what do I need to do differently? And so I realized, it was a much bigger picture and really a way of life if I wanted to continue to progress as a state referee and then a national referee and then FIFA. For more local leagues, we can kind of show up at the field and we need to have a knowledge of the laws of the game and an understanding of the game. But once we become a national referee and a FIFA referee, we have to change our diet and we have to be serious about our training. We have assigned programs now and, more seriousness of watching video clips and analyzing and really understanding the laws of the game. So it's been quite a journey, but I think this is my 23rd year as an official now. So it's taken a while, and granted, the first 10 years, I was just kind of doing it for fun. But after that, it's really progressed, and it kind of takes over your life. But when you love what you do, you don't have any problem doing it. So even now, while we're in quarantine, I wake up and I take my resting heart rate to see how my body is doing, and I'll work during the day, and then in the evenings, that's when I do my training and our video conference calls with our referee coaches. And everyone's been extremely helpful, but it's a big, complicated process.
So now, you're at the top of the pyramid, and for everybody who maybe doesn't know, as we mentioned, there is over 100,000 registered referees in the U.S. And how many women FIFA referees do we have? So everyone can see where have you arrived?
There are 3 of us. So we have 3 women FIFA referees, and I think we have 6 women FIFA assistant referees. So it's a very small group, but it's kind of nice because when we are working international matches, we're all very familiar with one another. We're familiar with one another's strengths and weaknesses, and so we know how to be better teammates, with our small family. So it's really neat to have those kind of relationships. And I know that even after I retire, I will have great lifelong relationships with all these people.
Yep. A lot of people who came to watch the USA women and Australia women play here in Denver almost a year ago. Who was the referee on that game?
That was me.
So how did that feel to be, pretty much in your own home turf and doing 2 major national teams that were, favorites for the World Cup, and you would be in charge of this match in your own backyard? What was the feeling? What was the excitement? Did the whole family come to watch the games? Walk us through that.
Yes, truthfully, that is probably one of the most rewarding experiences that I've had as an official, because you spend years years of time and so much work and thousands of soccer games to get to that point. And I had my family there, and so many friends came, and just coaches and players and other people in the soccer community who know me from Mines happened to go to the game, and they're like, oh my gosh, Karen is officiating the match. And so it was just, I actually had a lot of extra nerves for that game because I wanted to perform well and make people proud, because so many people in the soccer community in Colorado have helped to support me along the way. And so it was just an amazing feeling to go out there and do well and show them what they've helped our state achieve.
And one of the beauty of the job that you do is that not only you work at the highest level at the international, but we could have a state cup game and there's Karen Abt out there refereeing a match or running a line or mentoring younger referees. And how do you do that? How do you keep it so simple and so humble? Because sometimes people, when they get to a to a higher level, maybe they think it's beneath them to go to maybe do youth games and things of that nature. Because I've had some people. I was at Dallas Cup, and one referee actually said that it's beneath me to do this game. And that's when I told him, I said, you can go home, give me your flag, and you're done. You're relieved of your duties for the rest of this tournament. You're finished. So how do you keep that? How do you stay at the top and then keep it level and keep it humble?
Well, I think one of the most rewarding things about what I'm doing now is coming back and seeing all of the coaches and the players and the officials that I grew up working with. I love to see them. There's just a happiness and a family, and it's just comforting to come back to that environment again. And sometimes I have a little bit of a different role, but it's great. I can now share with others because so many people helped me to get to where I'm at. I mean, there's no game beneath us. And truthfully, it has been highly beneficial for me to come back and do those matches because it really challenges our thinking process about, well, what is a foul and why is that a foul? So I think it really helps with mental sharpness to keep a varying degree of matches in your repertoire.
Yeah, and refereeing takes you to some exotic parts of the world. You have traveled to many countries around the world. So tell us a little bit about experiences with the FIFA travel, places that you go, some of the interesting things that happen, some of the fun experiences you've had and some of the crazy stuff.
It has been an amazing experience, and truthfully, I've been to so many countries that I had never even thought of, or some that I didn't really think I had a desire to go to, and all of them have just been so culturally enriching. And I think the most amazing part is just the perspective that it brings. It really reminds you how fortunate we are to live where we are and to have the amenities that we have. Even basic things like being able to drink water out of the tap and brush your teeth with tap water. You gain a much greater appreciation for that. I think one of the most notable experiences for me, I went to Nicaragua, I think it was 2 years ago now, for a CONCACAF event. And there was a bit of political unrest going on in the country, and it progressed as our event carried on, and it got to a point it was not very safe for us. But the CONCACAF staff was great in assisting us to get out of the country safely and return home. But I mean, again, those kinds of things just create a great global perspective for you when you get home. But really, every country has they all have their unique culture, their food. But I think the one constant is that, a greatness of people and a love for soccer. And so it's really neat that no matter where I go, that love for the game is global.
Yeah, it's amazing how many friends we make through officiating, through soccer, through this wonderful sport all around the world. And you can have friends everywhere. There are people who come here, a friend of ours from Turkey who came here who was an exchange student, who refereed here and is back in Turkey now and is like in charge of a huge hotel conglomerate. And it's like every time he's like, come to Turkey, we're gonna put you up in the best places, you know, nicest hotels, free of things of that nature, right?
It's true. It's amazing to have friends all over the world. It's awesome.
Yeah. Any funny mishaps in any of these games? Anything that you can think of that you like? You know, you can share with us. Sometimes, you know, the matches where you don't understand each other's language, how you communicate with the players who don't speak the same language, or anything that you know, would be of interest to our audience here.
I cannot think of a particular incident. There is oftentimes a language barrier, and so I think the most important thing for us to remember as officials is that our whistle is universal as our yellow and red cards. People always understand that. They understand the tone of our voice, and they understand our body language. So I don't think there's really been a communication issue. I think some of the more memorable experiences involve wildlife on the fields. I went up to assist at Alaska State Cup, even domestically, and we had to chase moose off the fields a number of years ago. And for another CONCACAF event, we were in Grand Cayman, and there were massive iguanas. I mean, these iguanas were up to 5 or 6 feet long. And they kind of scared me when we were rocking the field to prepare for the match, but they assured us there was no problem until one of the iguanas started crawling up the goalpost on one of the ends of the field. And I remember kind of freaking out, and I'm like, what do we do? After the match, and we had an iguana wrangler kind of come and help us. But it's kind of neat to see the wildlife that sometimes can cause a short distraction for matches.
And that's when you have to be sharp on the laws of the game. What happens if the ball hits the iguana and it stops it?
Right, exactly.
How do we restart this, right?
Exactly, yeah.
All the things that we think would never happen, right? It would.
That's exactly right, yep.
Yeah. All right. So other than soccer, what are your other hobbies? What do you enjoy when you're not doing soccer? Or is this full-time, full-on for you?
Soccer is pretty much a full-time job when we're not sitting in quarantine. But when I do have time, I love to travel. And then I love being at home too, because right now it doesn't happen so frequently. So just getting to enjoy Colorado, to go hiking, whitewater rafting, and skiing as time allows. You know, my most favorite thing about traveling to this day, I think, is still just landing at DIA and seeing the mountains, because that for me is always a symbol of being home. So.
Wow, that is awesome. Favorite movie?
Rudy.
Favorite soccer player, men and women?
Oh. My favorite female soccer player is Becky Sauerbrunn. She's an amazing and classy lady. I love her. And on the men's side, oh, shoot, I don't know. There's a lot of choices. I'll go with Pele, a little more historic.
There we go. You said Pele, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think my Freitag would say absolutely, and I would say he's a fantastic ambassador for the game. And Sarah also, she was here. She's awesome, absolutely awesome. Any advice to the young referees before we finish this conversation? Any advice to the young referees who are watching this, young players who are watching this, coaches, anything that you can pass on that they can take with them?
For referees, for young referees, just work hard and have fun. There are a lot of great friends to make, and a lot of really neat experiences and life building blocks that you can achieve through refereeing. For coaches and players, I just hope that they know that we're all part of the soccer family. And that there's a realization that we're all human and we do make mistakes, but we are always trying our hardest to give them a fair match.
Awesome. And I think what we're doing now with the coaches, I mean, they have been fantastic. The clubs have been fantastic. Yesterday, when I was watching Mike Freitag's interview with Tito. The whole family is a soccer family, and also, a big shout out to Sean and Heather, who not only coach in Colorado Springs, but they're also referee mentors. So the more we see this community, this referee family and the soccer family and coaching family and the players family coming together, the better it is. And I cannot thank you enough for everything that you do and taking the time out of your Saturday morning to have this conversation with me. And let's give a red card to COVID-19 and send it out and start the games as soon as we can. And meanwhile, we are resilient. We hold up as best as we can, and we keep this type of content going. And I will introduce other referees, but I thought of no one better to start this series than our very own FIFA referee, Karen Abt. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Esse, and thank you for what you do for our state. We are blessed.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.